It's about time we jump into the world of alcohol markers. Now, I was a pure beginner with this, so of course I had to create a beginner-friendly video on how to use them just like a pro. I've always wanted to try them, so I was beyond excited for Ohuhu to send me their new Honolulu-esque dual-tipped set featuring 120 wonderful colors. So let's start with how to actually use them. Like acrylics, they have different nubs, also known as tips. There is a brush tip, which is thin and it's flexible and it's widely used for details. But there's also a chisel tip. Now, Ohuhu developed a soft chisel tip to mix a little bit between the brush and the chisel, but as you can see, for a chisel tip, it has a wide flat base and it's angled. This helps you with a lot of broader areas, but with the soft chisel aspect, it helps with a little bit more of the finer details and flexibility that people love for the brush tip. Both of these markers can cover areas, but it's important how you do it. For alcohol markers, it can get streaky when you cover, so color in a different way. Lots of layers are really important, so color back and forth. Or another way is to flick the pen. So you can actually flick the marker up, still covering over past areas, and you'll start to cover the entire area. You can see that when I start to go over the entire circle though, it is streaky in some areas. This is where the layering becomes important. And when you add enough layers and you keep going over, it creates a smooth color. This is the same for the soft chisel. When coloring, try to cover the area as you go and don't leave white spaces in between and then color back over, because that's how you create the streaks. As you draw, have the area spread fully covered and expand to make sure the color stays nice and smooth. As you can see, I'm also using a ton of layers. This way the color seems even. And also with alcohol markers, it's completely dry within seconds. Now, blending is where you can get in trouble. So if you have two different colors like pink and blue, don't just do one layer, try to color over and see, oh, it didn't happen. Instead, use an intermediary color. So in the top, you can see it just looked really bad. For the bottom, I'm gonna start with the three colors, and I'm gonna start with blue and purple, layering many times. Again, in the initial layer, it'll seem streaky and different, but if you keep adding, going back and moving your marker from its start color and into the other color, that's how you'll create more of a gradient. Now, I did also find out that if you go over in one spot over and over and over, it actually will expand if the paper is not suitable. So if the paper is too thin, you'll get that big blob. It's a lot easier blending with a lighter shade into a darker shade, so blending in the same color, like a dark blue to a light blue. Again, you put the marker on the color side and then like flick it into the other side. That's how you can sort of help with the gradient and the blending. But this also works with analogous colors. So green is right next to blue, the colors are very similar, so blending them together, pretty easy. So that's the basics of using alcohol markers. So now I want to show you all of the magnificent colors that I've gotten. So this has 120 different colors plus a colorless blender. Again, with alcohol markers, there's the alcohol solvent. So a colorless blender essentially just wets the ink and makes it easier to try to blend in between without adding more pigmentation. So all of these colors are beautiful. They're very bright, but you can see that there's lots of different shades of pink, lots of different shades of blue, and especially with the grays, which I really like because they're lighter, they're easier to blend with. There's different hints in them. So some of the grays are having hints of warm colors, of yellow, others have hints of blue or purple. So having this swatch down really helps for finding the color guide. And here is the final look at all of the brilliant colors. So now let's actually start coloring. I decided to go with a cute little bakery, matcha and blueberry drink parfait situation, but I'm not forgetting that alcohol markers can bleed through, so I actually destroyed the drawing behind this. But Ohuhu comes with this little plastic sheet that you can put in between your sketchbook pages, so it doesn't ruin too many of the drawings. When I'm starting out, I'm going to begin with lighter colors. Again, I am still a beginner. I tried this kit literally for the first time yesterday, and I am using all of the techniques. I'm starting off and coloring together. I'm not trying to create too many streaks, but I'm mapping out the different areas. I also found that it's easier to start with a lighter color and then add darker colors to it, because as long as I have it mapped out, it's easier to not make as many mistakes. Again, I don't know what the super pros do, but I find this is very easy. Once I've finished placing the darker green, that's when I start blending. So I'm taking a lighter green in this area and I'm coloring in between the initial layer and the darker layer. This one is a little warm, so it's a little more yellow, but as I keep blending, again, I'm using a lot of the flicking motion and I'm going over in many layers. You can see that it actually starts to soften and it ends up being a smooth blend. Now, this is the first time I've ever actually seen alcohol markers in real life, like seen their artwork, because I've only ever seen it online, and I really like it. I love the softness of blending. I love how smooth they are, and you don't just have to blend with actual colors. Again, I said this earlier, grays are a great tool for blending, especially if you want areas that are highlighted or if you're trying to color white. So my midsection underneath the green will be white, but of course you can't just leave it straight white because that will not look like it has any dimension. It'll look flat, and maybe I add too much gray here. We'll know as I keep coloring, but I really love the variety that comes in these packs. Like this gray is beautiful to use. Also, all of this drawing, or at least the majority of this drawing, I am using the soft chisel tip. So although I do have some small fine details and this area isn't drastically large, I'm able to use the soft chisel tip for its wide area, but also for details. So no matter what tip you end up getting, you can use it, but definitely lean into the flexible tips. Lean into the soft chisel tip, lean into the brush tip. It works for all of these colors. You can see I'm starting on the pink area at the bottom. And when I am doing this, I'm also trying to leave the white spaces or white highlights completely white, because you can't really add white back. Of course, you can always go over in colored pencil, you can always go over in acrylic marker or a gel pen, something like that. But I think of alcohol markers a little bit like watercolors, where once you get over the white, once you color over it, you can't undo it necessarily, or it would be very, very hard with the colorless blender and you would still have a tint of another color. So keep that in mind as you color. Here is a key tip, which we touched on earlier. When I am blending the pink into the white or lighter, or I'm blending the green into the white or lighter. I am not trying to blend super contradictory colors, but when I am coloring the green and trying to make it lighter, I change the shade. So I use a lighter green, but I also use some of the darker grays, because I'm not going to get just a fully smooth transition. I am looking for the matcha to look distinct from the actual white. So keep in mind that when you're doing it, using lighter colors as transition colors is very helpful. So if I'm trying to go straight from pink to green, in between I would probably have it go from green to light pink to then hot pink. So lighter colors can really help your transition and your blending. Now we go into the strawberries. Now, who does not love a strawberry? But keep in mind, you also want your coloring or your drawing to be cohesive. So here I'm using red. Red is very similar to pink, and red is actually the complementary color of green. If you look at the color wheel, green and red are on opposite sides, meaning they're complementary colors, which means the colors are complete opposites. So although they have high contrast, they can also work very well together and have a type of cohesion if you're using them sparingly or using them in a different dynamic. So here I have pink, which is very similar to red, again would be close to the complementary color of green. So both of these colors work well, especially with the white as a background. So it has a lot of energy and it looks very appealing. It would be very different if I had like yellow at the bottom and then I went in with orange for the strawberries and then I had like a dark blue. That's just a lot of contradictory colors together. So think about the color palette that you're trying to use. For alcohol markers, you can create your own shades, of course. Some of the other colors you can as well, but you're able to layer a lot of different colors over each other. So if you want to create darker colors, you can always put, like if I wanted a darker red, I could put down purple first and color over in red, or I could put down green first and color over in red, and you can blend those together and it will create a darker shade. So depending on what you're looking for and the type of feeling or energy that you want your drawing to have, you can try and test out different color combinations. What I'm doing now is going back and adding more shading and more details. I really want this to look adorable, but also a little realistic. Again, I don't really know how alcohol markers look at the end. I do really like the smooth colors and the smooth appeal, but I'm going through and I'm learning how they work. So for these ice cubes, I went over it too much with gray, so there wasn't that much white left over, which was unfortunate. But we workshop that later. I'll always add either colored pencil or I can add some acrylic marker. See, if I go back here with colored pencil, I'm using a white colored pencil just to get it a little brighter. With ice cubes, when you draw it, depending on the style, you can also have a lot of lines. So I have a lot of the white lines and it looks fine. I also going through, because this is in a glass, for glass, coloring it is a little interesting with transparency because you want to be able to see the colors through, but there's also highlights on the side, there's shadows, there's other colors than just the drink. So for the glass, there'd be like gray, blue, anything that it's reflecting. So going back with colored pencil is very helpful and is a good detail because colored pencil and alcohol markers work amazing together. Now I'm about finished with the first drawing, so we'll move on to the next. For the next one, I'll be working with a lot of blues. I'll be drawing a blueberry parfait, delicious, and because I wanted something that has a bit different colors than the pink and the green of the first drawing. So again, I'm going to layer and I'm going to draw as I did the first one. I'll be using a flicking motion, and as you can see in this blue, I have it separated. There's some white lines. That's because the shape of the glass has lines. It has separators, and I want to keep that white, hopefully, to help with the highlights, help with the shape. Because if I just colored the entire thing blue and I didn't leave any breaks and I didn't try to transition each of these sections, because you can see some of the sections go dark to light and then it has the white break and then it goes dark to light again, that helps create a shape, create dimension. If I didn't have that, it would look completely smooth and it would be a little difficult to see that this is a 3D object having a bunch of different shapes in the actual glass that it's in. Now I'm also adding blueberries, and I'm gonna be honest, I absolutely love drawing blueberries with these markers because you add the dark, you add the light, and when you go back over with the light acrylic marker, so with the light blue, and you just color in circles, many different layers, you can see that the lightness softens all of the other colors and expands into it. So I find that really fun and really interesting to see how much it softens and brightens the actual blueberry. A tip that I learned is use purple if you're trying to color something cream or if you're trying to color something white or gray. Now, hear me out. Purple, honestly, I love the color, but I am only talking about the very light pastel color. Light pastel purple sometimes looks like gray, but it has a little bit more lightness, brightness, and energy. So for this area at the bottom, it's gray, and I'm trying to make it more of a creamy white, but still gray, but I'm using purple as the base. Now, if you look at the color wheel, purple and yellow are directly across from each other. So let's say you're trying to create a cream color. Using a very light pastel purple will really help with the shadows for creating the cream, because if you just use like an off-white, or if you just use a little yellow, it's very one-dimensional. So if you use purple instead of only gray, then it creates another bit of dimension, and it actually transitions and smooths out the look a lot better than just a flat gray that'll seem out of place. So up here, I'm creating the whipped cream at the top. So the first color that I go in with is actually purple. Now the cream is white, I mean it's whipped cream, so it's a white color, but you can't just color with white. That doesn't work and there's no dimension. So I go in initially with purple. This will be the base layer, and from that purple, I will blend out a little bit of gray and then blend into more of the white color. For this, I use porcelain. It's a little bit off-white, but it is the white-most color in the alcohol marker set. I honestly really like the look that it has, especially the purple. It creates a little bit more of a depth and a darkness than just using gray wood. But something interesting about alcohol markers is, despite this blue being darker and I'm adding these dark blue sections, you can actually add lighter colors over top. You can see I'm dotting with orange and you can actually see it. So sometimes you can use lighter colors over dark, but just know it might separate a little and it might spread out into the ink of the underlying layer. Now for the spoon and for shining, I'm adding in colored pencils. I want to add some highlights. I want to add a little bit more of the shine and the depth and dimension. For the cream, I'm adding a little bit more of the actual lines, fine lines to create a lot of the shape. So I'm going to use colored pencil for that. Now for the bottom, this is just working with glass. I'm going to be using a lot of the grays, some blues, because anytime you're dealing with, let's say, a glass cup, at the bottom, you can see I did it in the first drawing too. The glass will reflect the color of whatever liquid you have, or the color of whatever is inside the glass. So you want to add a couple lines there. Now, I mentioned about the white and being hard to add it back with just alcohol markers, so you can go back with colored pencil, or you can use acrylic markers. Acrylic markers are essentially like acrylic paint, so it can color over anything and it will not bleed through, it'll not show through. So if you want an area white, just color with acrylic marker and boom, there you go. Now I'm finishing up the page by adding a little bit more of the fruits just for some details here and there. I'm adding some blueberries towards the top. Again, I actually really found that I love drawing with these just because it's really fun creating the sphere and the smoothness. I absolutely love it. Plus, you can see how they look without any of the other colors on the background, so you can see that this is just a very smooth gradient of blue. Now, again, I can add some highlights with colored pencil, or I can add it with acrylic marker. Now, the last thing I'm going to draw is a strawberry. For this, I really want to showcase how some of the lighter colors can lighten darker colors once you've already drawn with it. So here I'm starting out with shading the bottom shadow of the strawberry, but at the top it's already colored red, but I'm going over in a orangey yellow color, and you can see that it actually starts to stain it brighter. It looks more like the highlights and reflection. For the top, for the leaves, I'm doing a gradient from green to yellow, and this works again. I can use dark green at the base of the stem and base of the leaves, but at the end, I can color over the whole thing in yellow or in an off yellowy green, and it'll actually dye all of it brighter. For the final details, I'm going in with colored pencil for the seeds, and there we have it, a beautiful alcohol marker spread. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you could learn a thing or two about alcohol markers, or at least be inspired to get a set of your own. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time!